As we wind up 2023 and move into a new year, those working in politics are ramping up for an election. And after a year of political turmoil, a lot of us are looking forward, wondering if we may see some resolution. News 19's Kayla Smith talked with our political analyst about what they see on the horizon for 2024.
I certainly hope that the new congressional district in Alabama, District 2, will indeed yield us a Democrat.
From new congressional districting to possible legislation, News 19 political analysts David Person and Jay Town believe changes are coming to Alabama.
I think that online gambling will finally be something that passes through the legislature and find its way onto Governor Ivey's desk.
2024 is a presidential election year.
Donald Trump remains a fairly unstoppable force, but honestly, we won't know for sure until after Iowa and really after New Hampshire to see if those polls are actually correct. And Trump wins both Iowa and New Hampshire, then everyone should drop out of the race and the Republicans need to mobilize behind the inevitable Republican nominee.
Person believes there's a strong possibility American voters will once again have to choose between Trump and Biden.
If you have a showdown between President Biden and former President Trump, I think the nation is going to vote for President Biden. Alabama won't, but I think the nation will vote for President Biden.
I truly believe that there's really not a way for Joe Biden to beat any Republican candidate.
In 2024, we will watch a series of unprecedented legal battles.
I do think that you will see Hunter Biden convicted of multiple felonies, but I also think that after the general election in November, President Biden will pardon his son and probably the rest of his family members just to wrap all that up clean.
I think there are enough people who are going to be justifiably concerned about President Trump's role as an insurrectionist, as well as already suggested that he's comfortable with the idea of being a dictator for a day. It goes right to the heart of what it means to be an American.
In the new year, Town predicts a major bipartisan effort to combat fentanyl trafficking.
Trade sanctions, financial sanctions, prosecutions, a better understanding of the criminal networks, and then prosecuting those criminal networks, which includes and especially the drug cartels out of Mexico.
In the year following the overturn of Roe v. Wade, reproductive rights remained a national topic of concern. With the appearance of new state legislation and related court cases, Person says he believes the conversation will continue in 2024.
Even moderate to conservative women have some concerns about this. Even evangelicals are beginning to question whether or not in some cases, like for example in Texas, they're going too far in criminalizing, things related to a woman's right to choose.
In Huntsville, Kayla Smith, News 19.
Again, 2024 is an election year, so hold on. If you'd like more information about how to register to vote, just go to WHNT.com.